Okay, so before y'all start crashing out, let's get one thing straight. I don't think Sasuke was stronger than Naruto. But YT, your thumbnail says Sasuke's stronger. Yeah, but with a question mark. Now, put the pitchforks down and let me cook. Okay, so I understand why people say that Naruto is holding back. I mean, Sasuke says he's holding back and Naruto clearly isn't trying to kill Sasuke. But I believe there's a few signs in the narrative of Naruto and the fight itself that point to Naruto blatantly going all out. Now, firstly, one of the main things people point to show that Naruto was holding back is how Naruto wasn't trying to kill Sasuke. And while, yeah, they're right. Like, for the entirety of the fight, Naruto and Sasuke both make it abundantly clear that Naruto isn't fighting Sasuke with the intent to kill. This is stated by Naruto, and Sasuke even questions why Naruto isn't trying to kill him. With that being said, since when does Naruto not killing someone mean he's holding back? One of my main problems with this line of thinking is that people take Naruto not wanting to kill Sasuke to mean he's not using his full power. Well, that's simply not true. While an argument can be made that Naruto is exhausted from the war and doesn't have his normal chakra pool, the same argument can be made for Sasuke. In fact, during the battle, when the Nine Tails brings up how low Naruto's chakra is, Sasuke has a similar internal monologue about himself. People seem to forget that while yes, Naruto did share his chakra with the Shinobi Alliance, Sasuke, while also having a large chakra pool, has significantly less chakra than Naruto, and using all his different forms of Susanoo and Amaterasu in conjunction with his visual jutsu during the war would significantly drain him. Now, this isn't to say I don't think Naruto was exhausted throughout the fight. I'm just pointing out how people always point out that Naruto was exhausted while not doing the same for Sasuke. Now, obviously, Naruto did use a lot of chakra throughout the war. He fought in the war, he fought Madara, he fought Obito, he fought Kaguya, he basically died, but all of those statements apply to Sasuke too. People keep using the argument that Naruto is exhausted while throwing away the fact that Sasuke is exhausted too. And now that we've cleared out the exhaustion part of the conversation, let's get to the next point. Naruto saying he doesn't want to kill Sasuke. People take this to mean Naruto isn't going all out, when the simple truth is, he can't kill Sasuke. Throughout the fight, Naruto uses every technique in his arsenal, with the exception of the summoning jutsu, and Sasuke has an answer for all of that. Naruto uses truth-seeking orbs, tailed beast bombs, the Rasen shuriken, shadow clones, and Sasuke either counters, tanks, evades, or overpowers every single one of them. Anything Naruto could have done in the battle, he either did or didn't do because it would have been ineffective. Now, before you start typing boil release in the comments, that wouldn't have worked. Speaking for the manga, when Naruto uses boil release, there's a visible steam coming off his body. Now, I've heard people say boil release is an 8 gates level boost or something, and while I personally don't believe that's true, even if that was the case, why would he stop using it during the battle with Kaguya? In the manga, Naruto uses boil release in a short burst for a single attack, then switches to using shadow clones. Now, you could argue that he was still using boil release and that the steam coming off his body isn't symbolic of the use of boil release. But after that single initial hit, Naruto doesn't land a single hit afterwards, and that's with thousands of clones, okay, thousands might be a stretch, hundreds of clones helping him, right? Now, you could say that this is because Kaguya has her Byakugan on, and the improved vision is the reason Naruto isn't landing hits. But Naruto overpowered Kaguya with the initial hit, and all his hits afterwards got blocked. She clearly wasn't off guard either because they were charging straight at each other when the initial hit happened. This can mean one of two things. Either boil release can only be activated in bursts, or if you believe he didn't use it only for the single hit, that means the power increase isn't nearly as significant as the community has been claiming. Regardless of which interpretation you think is best, boil release just wouldn't have worked on Sasuke. If it's the initial burst interpretation, then Sasuke could have used Susanoo to survive the attack. You might be thinking, no, he wouldn't have. But keep in mind that this attack did almost no damage to Kaguya. It just sent her flying, and you might say, oh, but it's Kaguya. Sasuke isn't as durable as Kaguya. But this is the same Kaguya who took damage from a single punch from an extremely weakened Sakura. So either Sakura hits harder than boil release Naruto, or Kaguya's horn is made out of glass. Okay, that was a weird analogy, but yeah. My point is, Sasuke could survive the hit, and if you believe Naruto doesn't use a single burst for the attack, then that means Boil Release just doesn't even give that much of a substantial amp, and Sasuke could either dodge or block the attack. Now again, this isn't to try and claim that Sasuke is as strong as Kaguya. I'm just pointing out how Boil Release isn't the win condition people think it is. Now that we've gotten how Naruto simply had nothing in his arsenal that he could use to kill Sasuke with out of the way, I hope this helps people understand that just because Naruto says he doesn't want to kill Sasuke, doesn't mean he can. The next point I want to address is the Tailed Beasts. While yes, Sasuke wouldn't have access to the Tailed Beast in a normal situation, and this is clearly an external amp, you have to keep in mind that this is all based on Sasuke's own ability. Sasuke doesn't even use the Tailed Beast chakra to do any damage until their final Susanoo Nine-Tails clash. He uses it to hit a shadow clone across the battlefield and then blocks attacks from the other clones and the real Naruto. Then he blocks 3 Tailed Beast bombs. Until the clash, he's completely on the defensive. Now you could say when he attacked the clone he wanted to attack Naruto, except he was looking straight at him when he was doing the jutsu, and he would know which one is the clone. You could also say, how do you know it was the clone he hit? Well, that's because the clone that sends nature energy to Naruto is surrounded by rubble, while the real Naruto is in front of Sasuke. Now, if people are willing to say Naruto was holding back because he was fighting defensively, then the same has to be granted to Sasuke. He only attacks Naruto when they begin their final clash. With that being said, why do I think Sasuke using external energy doesn't take away from his ability in this fight? Well, because that's literally what Sage Mode is. When Naruto uses Sage Mode, he takes in external energy and mixes it with his chakra to create the Sage Mode chakra. People always say that Naruto was stronger because Sasuke used the Tailed Beasts, an external power, to get stronger. But if we were to take all the external power these characters used in the battle away, Sasuke would be left with his EMS, his Rinnegan, all his fire jutsu, all his lightning jutsu, and his normal perfect Susanoo. And Naruto would be left with his Rasengan, shadow clones, maybe Truth Seeker orbs, the Rasen Shuriken, and the Nine-Tails, but only in KCM2 with no Sage Mode or 6-pad Sage Mode. And considering Sasuke's perfect Susanoo is able to clash pretty evenly with Naruto's 6-pad Sage Mode QB avatar, it's not looking good for him when we hold both characters to those standards. Now, I understand why people don't do that for Naruto, because he trained to use Sage Mode and it's part of his normal arsenal. Well, the Rinnegan is literally in Sasuke's skull, and all its abilities are part of his normal arsenal. That includes absorbing chakra. With that being said, I think I've made it pretty clear how saying Sasuke was weaker because he used external energy isn't exactly fair when we can say the same about Naruto, and if they both don't use external energy, Naruto gets completely destroyed. You could say the Tailed Beasts aren't always available for Sasuke to use, and I could say, well, what if they fought on the Death Star and there was no nature energy? You see how that line of thinking makes the argument go on forever and ever? Anyone could say that what if this wasn't there, or what if this was there instead? But at the end of the day, the conversation is about the fight that happened, and the Tailed Beasts were there, so that argument is pretty pointless. Now that we've cleared up the Tailed Beast stuff, let's get to the end of the battle. By the end of the battle, both Naruto and Sasuke are extremely exhausted. They both clash pretty equally with their weakened techniques and have a final Chidori Rasengan clash, which leads to both of them getting knocked out and losing arms. Naruto wakes up first, which many take to mean that he won the fight. And while I don't necessarily disagree with this line of thinking, I guess, personally I think the fight ended as a clear draw. They both used every technique in their arsenal, both countered each other, both used external energy, and both had a final clash while they were both extremely exhausted and were both knocked out and both lost an arm. I don't think the narrative could make it more obvious that it was a draw. When Sasuke says, "I've lost," he's talking about the ideological battle, not the physical battle. Sasuke believes that he needed to cut down all of his ties, and the greatest of these ties being Naruto. He believes the cycle of hatred and the Indra and Ashura cycle can be ended if he cuts all of his ties and becomes the single individual hated by everyone. Naruto, on the other hand, believes the cycle can be ended by coming together, not through hatred, or a common enemy, but through understanding and love. This is signified by how Naruto and Sasuke both think about how they were chasing each other and understand each other. They were each other's goals, and in the end of this, it's shown beautifully by how their blood crosses to show their understanding and unity as Sasuke sheds a tear. This being the second time he cries in part 2 of Naruto, both times after understanding his brother. Now, I know I just went on a crazy nerdy rant about how Naruto is not stronger than Sasuke, but that's honestly because I'm such a big Sasuke fan. But I think sometimes as fans of anime and manga, we get too caught up in the crazy fights and the giant explosions, and we forget to appreciate that at the end of the day, these anime and manga are all stories of individuals, their lives, their pain, their dreams, and their goals. And I'm honestly grateful that on one random afternoon at 5 p.m. in 2012, I got home after playing with a friend and happened to catch the first episode of Naruto.